What happens when the mere thought of work creates anxiety? This can be in various degrees, but I've heard of people even throwing up at the mere thought of going into work, or as they drive into work, everything's fine. And as soon as they get into work or get into the parking lot, the anxiety kicks in. Right. So what's going on here? Well, is it actually work that is creating the anxiety? It's never the actual job that creates anxiety. It's the thought process, especially if it's something that we haven't even done yet, right? If you can feel anxiety before you even step into work, then that should be our first clue. What's really going on is an internal process. What do I mean by internal process? Well, it's thoughts that are coming into our awareness and the feelings that are associated with those thoughts. Now, where we learned how to be anxious about work, where we learned how to have these thoughts, it's almost irrelevant. What happens when we sit down and we really get curious about your pain, your issue, your problem, your challenge, whatever it might be, when we get curious about it and we ask reflective questions and we use the power of hypnotherapy to really unwind and untangle the knots that we can create in ourselves, in this case, knots that create anxiety at the mere thought of work. Well, this can really set us free. I'm thinking about a client who actually felt anxiety as they were driving into work. And one of the biggest challenges we have is we think we need to fight those feelings, or we think we need to villainize those feelings as if that will solve the problem, right? We think, oh, I shouldn't feel anxious. These stupid anxious feelings. This isn't right. And of course, the more we define these feelings as the enemy, the more they tend to fight back, and the more they tend to escalate, even to the point of physical sickness. And so one of the things that I really like to utilize is the power of emotion and using it as a healing tool. Because once the mind and the nervous system realizes that the experience it's going through is not life-threatening, there can be deep, deep healing there. And this is just one of the ways that I like to help my clients. If you are experiencing anxiety at the mere thought of work, as always, get curious. Get curious about what's going on in your mind. You don't have to overanalyze it. You don't have to fight it or struggle with it. Just notice, just get curious.